Hiya folks, so this is normal probability distributions. So before looking at this, you should understand what a z-score is and have a bit of an understanding of what it looks like on this normal distribution graph. So here it just gives you the example 1.2. So 1.2 is the z-score there. So if the z-score was say 2.4 or something, it might be somewhere around there, or if it was 3 it would be up here. So z-scores are found there along the bottom of the curve. So and minus would be out here, so like -1 would be there, maybe -1.5 would be in here. So those are where the z-scores are, but you should have an understanding of what they mean before looking at this. So this bit then is about, it tells you it's the probability of the z-score basically. So what it works out the area always to the left of the z-score. So for this one, it works out what the probability of that area is. So if the z-score was here, for example, if it was -1.3 or something like that, and you were to look up the area of it, it would give you to the left of it. So it's always to the left that it gives you. And it says here that it's page 36 and 37 in the log table. So we're going to use those, and that's how we're going to work it out. So on page 36 and 37, you've got things that look like this. Well, you've got kind of a set of tables that look like this. So we're going to use these to work out the areas or the probabilities. So I'm just going to look at an example here. So the first one, it says the probability of the z-score being less than or equal to 1.68. So this is a nice simple one. So remember that would be the middle. So 1.68 would be somewhere around here. Approximately, so 1.68. So if I'm working out the area to the left of that, it will be all this area. So I just have to go to the log tables and I have to look for 1.68. So if you look down the left hand column, so down here, and you just look for the first bit, so there's 1.6, and then you have to look across the top and it's the 8 there, so it's where 1.6 meets 0.08 basically. So it's this one here, so it's 0.9535. So that's the probability of z-score being less than 1.68, or it's the area that's to the left of 1.68 there. So that's what that means. So that's that one done. If you look at the next one then, so they're going to get more awkward than this. So see the way the next one says, it doesn't say less than, it says greater than 0.85. So if we look even in the middle again, so that's where 0 would be. So 0.85 would be somewhere here maybe. Right, so what it's asking us for, it's actually asking us for this area here. But remember, what we set up at the top was it only gives us to the left. So at the minute we don't really have a way of doing this. But if you think about it, what we're going to do, and the way you have to do all these ones where it says greater than, is we're actually going to calculate this area here. We're going to calculate all of this, and then we're going to do 1, take away that, because the whole thing is 1. So the area of everything in here under the curve will be 1. That's what it says up here. So therefore, what we're going to do is we're going to find the z-score of 1.85, and then we're going to do 1, take away that. So 1, take away z being less than or equal to 0.85. So z being less than or equal to 0.85, let's look over at our tables. And we go to 0.8, and then we go across the top to 0.05, and it's where they will meet. So it's this one, it's 0.8023. So it's 1 minus that then will give us what is greater than it. So you can just use calculator for that, and that's 0.1977. So that's the probability of z-score being greater than, so 0.85. Right, so next one then, so the probability of z being less than minus 1.23. So minus 1.23 on the diagram. So it's going to be somewhere maybe around here. So that, yeah. So they're asking us for this one here. Now again, we have another problem here. So the Z tables, they don't actually give us values for negative numbers. So there's no minus signs out here beside the z-score. So you have to figure out another way of finding the actual area then. So if you think about it, because the curve is symmetrical on both sides, if we were to take 1.23 on the other side, so if I was to work out the z-score for that, it would give me this area here. And then the bit I'm actually looking for, the red bit, is actually going to be the same as this little bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the z-score for 1.23, and then I'm going to subtract it from 1. So it's like the last one, but it's for a different reason that I'm doing it this time. So I'm going to find out the z-score for less than or equal to 1.23, and I'm going to do 1 minus that. So let's go over to the tables again. So we have 1.23, so 1.2 is there, 0.03 is there, so we get 0.8907. So 1 minus 0.8907, and you can use calculator again. So that's 0.1093. And that's it then, that's that bit. Right, so the last one, a little bit harder again. So now it's actually asking us for probability between these two. So again, I'll try to make that a little bit bigger. So 0 is in the middle now. So 0.93 would be a little bit less than 1, so it might be here somewhere. And then minus 1.21 would be a little bit more. So we'll just say here. So they're asking us for this area in here. So the only way we can do these types of ones is we're going to find the area of the 0.93 first of all. So that would give us all of that there. So it would give us everything to the left of 0.093. And then when I've got that, I'm going to take away the z-score of the other one. So that's minus 1.21. So I'm going to take away the area of this, and then we're left with that red bit in the middle. So it sounds simple, but it actually gets more complicated again. So I'm going to find the z-score of, so z is less than or equal to 0.093. Now that should be simple enough. And then I'm going to find the z-score of less than or equal to minus 1.21. But remember again, because we have a minus here, we have to figure out the other way of doing it. So it'd be like the one I did up above. So just let's work out 0.093 first of all. So 0. Yeah, so 0. Sorry, it was actually, yeah, it was just 0.93 in the question. I just took it down wrong. Because we don't have 0.093 on the tables. So yeah, in the question it was 0.93. So if we look for 0. Change it in here as well. Right, so 0.9 is here, and then I'm going to go across to 3, so that will give us 0.8238. Right, so we're going to subtract the other one from it then. So let's think about this separately then, this minus 1.21. So again, when you're working out a minus, so that will be here. So when I'm trying to work out this, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the z-score for the positive one, for 1.21, and then I'm going to subtract it from 1. So I'm going to work out all of this area, but I'm going to subtract it from 1 to give me this area in here. So it'll actually be 1 minus the z-score for 1.21. So the z-score for 1.21 is going to be 0.8869. So 1 take away that then is 0.1131. So now I'm just going to take the two answers away from each other. So I'm going to do this one, take away this one. So 0.8238 minus 0.1131. And I get 0.7107. So that's the bit that is in between then. So that's how to calculate z-scores. So some of them get a little bit tricky, but think about the areas on it time and just figure them out from that, and you'll see some repetition when you're doing them. But having the log tables and getting used to figuring them out, where they are in those tables, just getting used to them is a lot of work in it. So that's it for z-scores, or for probability distributions with z-scores.